There you
Mhm.
go. I have a
Well,
weird feeling. I don't know. I mean, Karen, I love Karen on the show, but I feel to me, I said this before, she just seems out of place with the other women. She just seems like she doesn't jive with them. The same way Vicky felt like she outgrew the show, so to speak.
oh, I like that comparison. Okay, yeah, I could see that. Like Vicky, it almost felt like then you feel like they're trying too hard. And I feel like Karen's now trying too hard to fit in. And she just looks tired. Remember, she was at one of the events and Giselle's like, are you tired? She's just kind of over it.
She's over it. And I think, I mean, again, I don't hate to be a broken record. I like housewives that are in their 50s and 60s, but Bravo doesn't seem to, she just seems like the older woman in the crowd. It's not age shaming because I prefer it. I wish everyone were in their 50s and 60s on Housewives. That's how it started. It gave a voice to a certain demographic that wasn't represented on TV. I like it, but doesn't seem to be the generate that where Bravo's going. And so she just doesn't seem to like get the same references. Like when she's on vacation and doesn't want to do this, and I need my own room. I can't. And I get it all. Like the older we get, the more set in our ways we get. She just seems like an outlier to me. I just can't. And I think with this video and everything, and what you're saying, where we started, I think she needs real help, whether she gets it or not. I mean, this checking into her, she's already out of rehab. I mean, you mean to tell me she checked into rehab, got out of rehab, she got her sentencing pushed back because she has new legal counsel now? I personally don't buy any of it. I think it's all a ploy to push off the sentencing and just not face reality.
I think so too. Do you think she didn't see the body cam footage? Like, because I'm like, how could you see that and then say you're not guilty? Like, I just,
Well, that's what a lot of people, that's their question, what a lot of people would like to know.
I don't think she saw it. There's no way you would see that and think, I'm not guilty, because you're just saying some off the wall stuff.
Well, she certainly has seen it now, but I would like to know, does she have a boyfriend and was he in the car and did he get injured and did he run away? So Ashley Darby, let's find out more about that.
Let us know about that. I mean, let's be honest. Aside from the DUI, she was also driving with a suspended license, and then Ray was there trying to give her the his ID. That's not how it works. And I think again, if she took a rule book of Shannon Bedore and did the apologetic, mea culpa kind of season, I think people would have rallied around her. But she was like attacking anyone that criticized her. And Shannon really took it. Tamra threw it, she took it, she received it. I don't know.
Even in the first scene where she goes to that diner with Giselle and they're like, "Oh, Miss Huger, very good customer. She always comes in for the drinks."
Is
And
that the diner? Is that the same?
well, no, I think it's a
Oh,
different restaurant
okay.
that
Got
Wendy's
it.
talking about,
Okay.
but it's just like now we have another story. I mean, granted, Wendy's more than happy to bring this up. Like, I'd like to see proof of this,
Yeah.
Professor. But I don't know. You know, in other news, Craig and Paige, we all know, broke up, and the rumors surfaced that Paige was dating Joe DeMello, and there might be some timeline overlap. I really don't think she cheated on Craig, but Austin and Miss Patricia, were just on Watch What Happens last week, and they weighed in and basically. Somebody or Andy asked, I think a caller said, like, do you think was Paige mean to you? Was she mean to Craig? And Austin said, well, she was certainly dominant in the one dominant one in the relationship. And he's like, that's a nice way of basically Patricia and Austin to cut through all this bullshit. Not in so many words, called Paige mean, said she was dominant. And yeah, Craig's like, well, everyone knows she's dating like Joe DeMello seriously, like this quickly. That's been substantiated, right? And he
Mhm.
said Craig knows it and he did not want to accept this, but he does now. And Paige just clapped back saying, I love how the guy I haven't spoken to in 6 months at all is speaking for me. So I think and Craig unfollowed Paige. So
I don't
it's
know why
get,
they do that. I'm like, we're dying to see that stuff. Just keep following each other. And who's Joe DeMillo? Let me look that up. Who's that?
Yeah, Joe DeMillo, who is he some sports guy. Everyone seems to know him. And Austin also said that Paige was basically was a factor in my problems with Craig. And
Uh-huh.
And now we are rebuilding. It's been a rough time together. So I don't know. I feel look, I don't know if Paige used Craig, but I feel that look, like if you're dating someone and you know it's not gonna last, but it feels good and it's like there is that like, why should I end this? I'm having fun.
Of course. And sometimes you get caught up in stuff. And, I'm friends with Hannah Berner, and I interviewed her a long time ago. And now she's like, everywhere, a comedian, whatever. And she does that Giggly Squad with Paige. And
Hmm.
what I've seen of Paige and interacted with her, it's always been pleasant. I like her. I think she's very dominant. She's very Italian. Me being Persian, we're very dominant. So I guess sometimes when someone sees someone like her that's pretty and wearing the cute pink dresses, it's kind of like Madison LaCroix. You don't expect them to be so masculine. I don't mean in the way they look, but in their energy, that it throws people off. And I think that there's nothing wrong with someone that knows what they want and is dominant. And also, I think when you're doing a long distance, 3 years goes by quickly. People are like, oh, she wasted his time and he wasted her time. And it's like, there's no real timeline with these things unless you want to have children. And it doesn't seem like she really does. I mean, she's freezing her eggs. So it's like she has like an insurance policy. But again, did she use him? Did he use her? Maybe, maybe not. To me, it seemed genuine. Craig seems very uninterested in using the show as a platform. He's just kind of he knows how business works. Even on this last week's episode, he's like, I'm gonna give him 30 grand to take the name, and his business partner approved it. He's like, okay, let me take back the name of the podcast. He's here to sell
And why did he want to do that? Just because he wants the podcast on his
on his
own?
own. Yeah, because him
He
and
doesn't
Austin
want
are like
Austin.
getting into stuff.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
think Paige is like told him was like, take back your name, like take back the pillows and beer name. And listen, this show, like Summer House, it's less like Housewives in the way that everyone there is really there to hawk a product. Like that is the only point of Southern Charm. Like, except Molly, no one, everyone else has a business to promote, except Whitney, because he's just like independently wealthy. But the rest of them are all pushing some product. So,
They're all pushing some products. I mean, the show is Whitney's show. I mean, he's the one that sold it and came up with it. I agree. And also, listen, I've met Paige and Hannah many times. I have to say, same thing. Listen, it's not like I'm friends with Paige, but my interactions with her have been very pleasant. I
yeah.
mean, I'm a New Yorker. I don't think it's like she's so boast like yeah, like there's nothing wrong with having a voice and speaking up. There's also two people involved. Like if you are in a long distance relationship and you have conversations about the future and it's not clear to you and you don't know where it's going and you want an answer, you also can leave after 8 months or 3 months or there it's so in a way nobody forced you to stay there. I mean,
No.
a lot of people disagree with us. They're very Team Craig on this, but I'm just saying, like, if you foresee that someone is saying, like, I can't move there now, a lot of people would say it's 6 months. And you know what? My timeline, it's just after 6 months, I can't continue this. I'm not interested. He could have left.